There are emergency supply caches throughout wilderness areas, metal containers stocked with first aid equipment, emergency radios, survival supplies. Rangers install them at remote locations for rescue operations. Standard protocol: inventory annually. Restock as needed. Maintain accessibility. Equipment Cache 7 in the North Cascades was installed in 1996. Standard emergency supplies. Standard maintenance schedule. Until inventory stopped matching records. Items that were never stocked appeared inside. Items that should be there disappeared. And in 2013, Rangers found equipment dated from 2018. The cache was welded shut, marked "Do Not Open," because what's inside isn't what Rangers put there. And it's not from when we are. Emergency supply caches are fundamental to wilderness SAR operations. Remote locations require pre-positioned equipment. A metal container stocked with first aid supplies, emergency radios, rope, shelter materials. GPS coordinates logged. Combination lock accessible to park personnel. Annual inventory confirms contents match records. The system works because cache contents are controlled. You stock specific items, those items remain until used. Except at Equipment Cache 7, where inventory changes without anyone opening it. There's a protocol. Equipment Cache 7 is decommissioned. Do not open, do not inventory. Emergency supply requests will utilize alternate cache locations. If Cache 7 is found open, secure closure and file incident report. Do not enter container. Do not inventory contents. You don't open Equipment Cache 7. You don't check what's inside. Because the equipment inside comes from decades that haven't happened yet. And equipment that was inside disappears to decades that already passed. This is the story of how that protocol was established. In spring 1996, the Forest Service installed Equipment Cache 7 at a remote drainage 6 miles from the nearest trailhead. Park Ranger Thomas Crawford led the installation. Standard procedure: transport metal container via helicopter, secure to bedrock, stock with approved emergency supplies, log GPS coordinates, set combination lock. Crawford's inventory log from April 12, 1996, documented exactly what went into Cache 7. 2 first aid kits, 1996 standard issue, 1 emergency radio, Motorola MTS 2000, 50 feet of climbing rope, 2 emergency blankets, waterproof matches, water purification tablets, emergency rations, basic toolkit. Total value approximately $800. Standard configuration for remote cache locations. The cache was inspected twice annually. Spring inventory, fall restocking. For 9 years, Equipment Cache 7 functioned as designed. Crawford performed 16 inspections between 1996 and 2005. Every inspection, contents matched installation inventory until May 2005. On May 18, 2005, Ranger Rebecca Holland conducted routine spring inventory of Equipment Cache 7. She hiked 6 miles to the location, entered the combination, opened the container. The first aid kits were wrong. Not damaged. Wrong. The kits inside were olive green military surplus cases with white cross markings. Park Service kits in 2005 were red nylon bags with reflective text. Holland checked the inventory log. 2 first aid kits, 1996 standard issue, should be inside. The kits present were military surplus style, discontinued in the 1970s. Holland checked the emergency radio. The Motorola MTS 2000 logged in 1996 should be inside. The radio present was a Motorola HT220, a model used in the late 1970s, replaced by newer equipment in the 1980s. Equipment Cache 7 was installed in 1996 with a 1996 radio. The 1970s radio shouldn't exist in this cache. Holland inventoried every item. The climbing rope was correct. 50 feet. Standard issue. Appropriate age for 9-year-old equipment. The emergency blankets were wrong. Silver Mylar from the 1970s instead of orange plastic bag type standard in 1996. The water purification tablets were wrong. Iodine tablets in military packaging, not the chlorine tablets stocked in 1996. The emergency rations were wrong. MRE-style military packages from the 1980s instead of civilian energy bars from 1996. Holland filed an incident report. Equipment Cache 7 inventory does not match installation records. Unknown equipment present. Several 1996 items missing. Appears someone removed original supplies and replaced with vintage surplus equipment. Park Administration reviewed the report. Checked the combination lock. No forced entry. Checked access logs. No ranger visits between fall 2004 inspection, inventory normal, and May 2005, inventory wrong. The cache had not been opened except by authorized personnel during scheduled inspections. But the equipment inside had changed. The working theory. Equipment from a decommissioned 1970s cache had been mistakenly placed in Cache 7. The cache was restocked with correct 1996 standard equipment. Fall 2005 inspection confirmed. Contents correct. 2 red nylon first aid kits. 1 Motorola MTS 2000 radio. Standard 1996 configuration. For 8 years, Equipment Cache 7 appeared normal. Then, in 2013, Ranger Daniel Wu opened the cache and found equipment from 2018. On June 3, 2013, Ranger Daniel Wu conducted spring inventory of Equipment Cache 7. Combination entered correctly. Container opened. Wu immediately documented what he found. The emergency radio inside was a Motorola XTS 5000, a model the Park Service wouldn't purchase until 2016. Manufacturing date stamped on the battery, March 2018. It was June 2013. Wu checked the first aid kits. Both kits were current Park Service issue, but packaging showed copyright dates of 2017. Medical supplies inside had expiration dates of 2021 to 2023. The supplies were sealed, factory fresh, dated 4 to 8 years in the future. The climbing rope had a manufacturing tag, produced January 2018. The rope was new, showed 0 wear, but the manufacturing date was 5 years in the future. The emergency blankets were packaged in wrapping marked manufactured 2019. The water purification tablets had packaging dated 2020. The emergency rations were MRE packages with inspection dates from 2018. Wu photographed everything. Filed emergency report. Equipment Cache 7 contains supplies with manufacturing dates 2017 to 2020. Current date June 2013. Park Administration reviewed Wu's report and photographs. Manufacturing dates were clearly visible: 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. The equipment was genuine Park Service issue, but it was dated 5 to 7 years in the future. The decision was made to remove future dated equipment and restock Cache 7 with current 2013 supplies. Wu removed every item, restocked the cache with standard 2013 equipment, first aid kits dated 2013, current model radio, supplies with appropriate 2013 manufacturing dates. Cache secured. 3 weeks later, on June 24, 2013, Ranger Sarah Kim conducted verification inspection. Kim entered the combination, opened the container. The 2013 supplies Wu had installed 3 weeks earlier were gone. The 2018 equipment had returned. Same radio, same first aid kits, same rope, blankets, tablets, rations. Manufacturing dates 2017 to 2020. Exactly what Wu had removed. Kim filed report. Equipment Cache 7 contains future dated supplies identical to items removed June 3rd. Current dated supplies installed June 3rd are absent. Park Administration made the final decision. Equipment Cache 7 would be permanently decommissioned. On July 8, 2013, maintenance crew welded the cache shut. Solid continuous weld around the entire lid. Metal plate bolted over the weld seam. Plate marked, decommissioned, do not open. The protocol was established. Equipment cache 7 is not to be opened, not to be inventoried, not to be used. And if Rangers found cache 7 open, they were to secure it and report, not enter, not inventory. Between 1996 and today, equipment cache 7 has been documented in 3 temporal states. In 1996 to 2004, it contained correct equipment from installation year. In 2005, it contained equipment from the 1970s and 1980s, decades before the cache was built. In 2013, it contained equipment dated 2017 to 2020 years in the future. No Ranger has inventoried equipment cache 7 since it was welded shut in July 2013, but Rangers have found it open. 6 documented incidents where the welded seal was broken, lid opened, metal plate removed. Each time, cache secured, weld repaired, incident reported. No inventory taken. But Rangers who've seen inside during those incidents report the same thing. Equipment inside has manufacturing dates from the 2020s. Radios that don't exist yet. First aid supplies with copyright dates years ahead. Rope manufactured in years that haven't arrived. The cache contains approximately $800 worth of equipment. Always has. But which $800 changes? Sometimes equipment from 1975, sometimes from 1996, sometimes from 2018, sometimes from 2025. The total value remains constant. The temporal origin shifts. Maintenance records from 1996 are clear. Thomas Crawford installed specific equipment on April 12, 1996. Serial numbers logged. That equipment was inside during 16 inspections between 1996 and 2005. Then it wasn't. Different equipment appeared. Equipment that predated the cache installation by 20 years. Then current equipment returned. Then future equipment appeared. The 1996 equipment Crawford installed has never been found. Not in the cache. Not in any other cache. Not in park storage. New Rangers are briefed on equipment cache 7 during field training. Cache 7 is decommissioned, welded shut in 2013. If you find it open, secure it immediately. Do not enter, do not inventory, report to supervisor. When new Rangers ask why, veterans tell them, equipment inside doesn't match installation records. Protocol is to leave it sealed. Some Rangers have theories. One theory holds that equipment cache 7 exists simultaneously in multiple decades. When you open it, you access whichever decade the cache happens to be connected to at that moment. Another theory suggests the cache is accumulating equipment from parallel maintenance schedules, versions of Rangers from other timelines stocking the same cache with their contemporary equipment. No one knows why equipment cache 7 behaves this way. The cache was installed in 1996 at an unremarkable location. Standard equipment. Standard protocols. For 9 years it functioned normally. Then in 2005, equipment from 1975 appeared. Then equipment from the future. The container hasn't moved. The GPS coordinates haven't changed. But what's inside shifts across decades. Equipment cache 7 was installed April 12, 1996. Thomas Crawford logged serial numbers. Rebecca Holland found those supplies replaced with 1970s equipment in 2005. Daniel Wu found 2018 equipment in 2013. Sarah Kim found the future equipment returned after removal. The cache was welded shut, but it opens. 6 times since 2013. Rangers have found the seal broken. Found equipment inside dated from the 2020s. Equipment that hasn't been manufactured yet. Radios with asset tags that haven't been assigned. Supplies with expiration dates years ahead. Rangers don't inventory equipment cache 7. Don't enter it. Don't use it. Because the equipment inside isn't from the installation year. It's from 1975. Or 2025, or decades that shift every time someone opens the container. You put in 1996 equipment, you find 2018 equipment. You remove 2018 equipment, you find 1975 equipment. The cache contains $800 worth of supplies, always. But when those supplies are from changes. Thomas Crawford installed equipment cache 7 in 1996. That equipment has never been found. The cache still exists. Still sealed, still marked "Do Not Open," because what's inside isn't what was put there, and it's not from when we are.